This is Valerie Pugsley with Inspired Strategic Solutions, and beginning a series called I think we'll call it Chat with the Experts. We'll start with that and see how it goes. And so my very first expert is Bill Collin, who I've met at some different places around in Orange County, California. And so I'm going to go ahead and introduce Bill to you. He actually started out as a chemistry and then ended up in sales and marketing. So I'm really curious, how did that happen?
All right. Well, my degree in chemistry was rather broad in scope, and I went to work for a chemical company as a bench chemist, working with epoxy resins. Most people know of them as a glue they buy in the hardware store. They have a lot more applications. The ones that I was interested in are the applications for printed circuit board resins, graphite reinforced composites, which you would know from, most likely from sporting equipment and that sort of thing. I was always interested in the applications of these things and what the end uses were. I discovered that I had a flair for making presentations to customers. This way it got me out in the field, and I decided I liked that a lot more, and I made a move from the laboratory to the sales and marketing side. And, you know, truth be told, it was probably better for the lab as a whole, because, you know, I wasn't the worst chemist in the world, but I wasn't the best either, so.
It's interesting that you said that, because as you said that, it made me think of something that I tell kids in college, that if you think you want to do something, go try and job shadow or find out a little bit more about it first before you get into it, because it may not be what you think it is. So it kind of sounds like that happened with you with the chemistry. But then the other thing I tell them is, you know, it doesn't matter. You're not going to probably be the same thing all through your life anyway. You're probably going to have, you know, 4 or 5 different careers and occupations over the course of time.
I think that's very true. And really, I couldn't have gotten the jobs I did if I hadn't had the background I did. It was a necessary part of that growth pattern.
Yeah, good point. You're right. Yeah, it all seems to get used somewhere along the line, right?
Yes.
Gone into your business for yourself with, you have a partner, and your company's name is Berkshire Housatonic. Okay, I think that's an Indian name, yeah?
Yes, it is. Mohegan Indian name.
Tell us about the inspiration for that name.
Well, I grew up in western Connecticut. The Berkshire Mountains run along the western side of Connecticut and Massachusetts into Vermont. They're not what a lot of people around here would consider mountains, because they peak at about 3,500 feet. But they're very old mountains, and they're worn down. So, and then the Housatonic River runs from Vermont through Massachusetts into Connecticut, drains in the Long Island Sound. And so those were both very close to my birthplace. And that was my inspiration for the company name. So it pays a little homage to where I come from.
All right, that's really